Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. We love to explore these personal development topics, and today's is a really fascinating one.
It is.
We're talking about emotions and manifestation.
Yes.
So I know a lot of you listening are probably familiar with at least the basics of the law of attraction and all of that, but we're going to unpack this self-help book that you sent me,
Yes.
which takes a really interesting approach.
Yeah.
So it gets into the law of attraction and all that,
Right.
but really with this unique spin on understanding and mastering our emotional states.
Yes. I think what's really interesting about this book is it's not just theory.
Right.
It's packed with real-life stories of people who have used these principles to navigate difficult situations and manifest the outcomes that they wanted.
Okay, so like a roadmap with real-world examples.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into the core concept here.
Okay.
The book talks about our emotions as signals. Like they're telling us whether we're in sync with our inner being, or this term source energy, which the author describes as this expanded version of ourselves.
Right.
And to be honest, when I first read that, I immediately started thinking about other ideas like the subconscious mind, or even like universal consciousness, like tapping into a larger energy field or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are really good connections. And so the book says that when we're feeling good, it's a sign that we're in alignment with that source energy.
Okay.
But then when we're feeling down or negative, it's like a signal that something's off.
Oh.
And it's like a nudge to kind of adjust our thinking and get back into that flow of positive energy.
So it's like our emotions are kind of like a built-in guidance system.
Exactly.
Always giving us feedback on where we're at.
Yes.
But this is where I get a little tripped up.
Okay.
Isn't this just positive thinking repackaged? Like, how is this different from just slapping on a happy face and pretending everything is fine?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's one that I wrestled with too when I first started reading this book.
Okay.
But the book really dives deeper than simple positive thinking.
Okay.
So it's not about denying your negative emotions or pretending they're not there.
Okay.
It's about understanding the message they're trying to send.
Okay.
Think of it this way, like if your car's engine light comes on, you don't just ignore it or put a sticker over it,
Right.
You investigate what's causing the issue.
Yes.
So negative emotions are kind of like that engine light.
Okay.
They're prompting us to look inward and see where we might be out of alignment with our true desires.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So then how does all of this connect with the law of attraction?
Yeah.
Which this book is all about.
So the book describes the law of attraction like this.
Okay.
The essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn. So basically you attract what you vibrate in harmony with.
Okay.
And I think an important point here is it's not about practicing the law of attraction. It's about recognizing that it's always working.
Right.
It's always in play.
Okay.
So the key is to become aware of your vibrational state and consciously align it with what you want to experience.
So like feeling good attracts good experiences because you're on that wavelength.
Yes.
And feeling down or negative brings more of what you don't want because you're stemming that frequency.
Exactly.
Okay, it's starting to click a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now, I know you mentioned the author had an interesting journey that led them to this understanding.
Yes, they were really inspired by Think and Grow Rich,
Oh, yeah, the
but
copy.
they felt like it was missing this crucial element of vibration. And so that led them to the teachings of Abraham,
Okay.
which really influenced their approach to the law of attraction.
Which makes sense given all the focus on vibration.
Yeah.
So to illustrate all of this, they use this analogy of a river and a canoe.
Yes,
So life is the river and our thoughts are the canoe.
exactly.
Can you unpack that for us a little bit more?
Absolutely. So imagine you're paddling upstream against a strong current.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard work.
Definitely.
It's frustrating. You're not making much progress.
Right.
And that's what it's like to resist life, to get caught up in negative emotions and try to force things to go our way.
So all that upstream paddling is us resisting what is
Exactly.
and fighting against the natural flow of things.
Yes,
Which just creates more struggle.
exactly.
Okay.
Now imagine you're paddling downstream.
Right.
You effortlessly glide along. You enjoy the scenery.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like to be in alignment with that source energy, allowing good things to come to you.
Effortlessly.
Yes.
Okay, so downstream thinking then is about finding those thoughts
Yes.
that create that feeling of ease, even if our current circumstances aren't ideal.
Precisely. It's about shifting your perspective to a place of greater alignment,
Okay.
even if it's a subtle shift at first. And The book offers some really practical tips for doing this.
Okay, like what?
Well, one of the tips is instead of getting bogged down in the problem, ask yourself what thought would feel better right now.
Oh, okay.
What's one small step I can take that would feel like moving downstream?
So instead of like berating myself for feeling stressed about work,
Yeah.
I could ask, what would make me feel even slightly better in this moment?
Exactly.
Maybe it's taking 5 minutes to breathe deeply, or listening to a calming song,
Mm-hmm.
or just acknowledging that I'm doing my best,
Yes.
even though I feel stressed.
Those are all tiny shifts,
Yeah.
but they can create a ripple effect.
Okay.
And this is where those real life examples come in,
Yes.
because they show how people have applied these principles in a variety of challenging situations.
Okay, let's get into some of those.
Okay.
I'm really curious about the examples about relationships and work,
Okay.
because those are areas where I tend to get stuck in that upstream thinking.
Yeah. Well, speaking of relationships, there's this really compelling example about a mother who is struggling with her kids constantly fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're always at each other's throats. She's at her wit's end, feeling that frustration and helplessness that I think so many parents can relate to.
Holy, I've been there.
But instead of letting those negative emotions run the show, the book encourages her to do something different.
Okay, I'm interested to hear this because, full disclosure, my kids have been known to turn our house into a wrestling ring.
Okay, yeah.
So what did she do?
Well, the book suggests she try shifting her focus
Okay.
to her desired outcome.
So in this case,
Peaceful kids playing harmoniously,
right.
and try to find thoughts that feel more in alignment with that vision.
Okay, so instead of dwelling on the chaos,
Mm-hmm.
she starts to visualize her kids like laughing together or something.
Exactly, and maybe even remembering a time when they were getting along.
Yeah.
And as she practices this downstream thinking, her own energy shifts. And guess what? The kids miraculously start playing together without fighting.
Wow.
The book explains that when we release that resistance
Hey.
and align with our desired outcome,
Yeah.
it creates the space for that outcome to manifest.
It's so crazy because it makes me think about all those times where I've gotten sucked into the drama of my kids fighting and inadvertently made it worse
Exactly.
by like matching their energy.
You're amplifying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I can stay calm
Right.
and manage my own energy, maybe that'll help create a more peaceful environment.
Exactly. And I think that principle applies to so many areas of life,
Totally.
not just parenting.
Yeah. Like what?
Remember that example about the person feeling stuck and unhappy at their job?
Oh, yeah. Example 7.
Yeah.
Feeling that one.
It's so easy to get trapped in that cycle of complaining and negativity when you're in a work situation that isn't fulfilling.
Yeah. I've definitely been there.
But instead of dwelling on what's wrong, the book suggests you focus on what you do want
Okay.
in your ideal job.
So like identifying those downstream thoughts that feel more aligned with my career goals.
Exactly.
So instead of thinking, ugh, I'm so underappreciated and overworked,
Right.
I could shift my thinking to like, I desire a career where my contributions are valued and I have a healthy work-life balance or something like that.
Exactly. It's about reframing the problem
Right.
into a desire.
I like that.
And it's not about pretending everything is perfect,
Right.
but it's about shifting your focus to a place of greater possibility.
Okay.
The book even suggests creating a vision board
Oh, yeah.
or writing a journal entry about your ideal workday
I love that.
to help you connect with that feeling of alignment.
So even if I'm stuck in a job that I don't love right now,
Yeah.
I can start cultivating the feeling of being in my dream job.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, I'm actually aligning myself with that possibility
Yes.
on an energetic level.
Exactly.
It's like sending a signal to the universe.
You're creating a vibrational match.
Yeah, this is what I'm open to.
And the book reminds us that the universe will respond
Oh, wow.
to that signal, even if we can't see how it's all going to unfold yet.
Okay,
It encourages us to trust the process.
that's the process.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And kind of reminds me of another challenge that I think a lot of people face.
What's that?
Not having enough money.
Yes, money.
That can be a big source of anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely, for a lot of people.
How does the book address that?
Well, the book acknowledges that financial struggles are a major source of stress, but instead of getting caught in the trap of scarcity thinking,
Okay,
focusing on what you lack,
right.
it encourages you to shift your perspective to one of abundance.
But how do you cultivate a feeling of abundance when you're like staring at a pile of bills?
It starts with becoming aware of your thoughts and beliefs about money.
Okay.
So are you constantly telling yourself that you're broke, that you'll never have enough? The book suggests reframing those thoughts.
Okay.
So instead of, I can't afford that,
Right.
try saying, I'm open to receiving abundance in creative ways.
Okay, so it's about choosing thoughts that feel more expansive and aligned with that feeling of having plenty.
Exactly.
Even if my current financial situation doesn't reflect that yet.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, kind of.
In a way, yes, but it's more about shifting your energy.
Okay.
And the book also emphasizes that it's not about ignoring your financial responsibilities.
Right.
It's about managing your finances responsibly
Yeah.
while also cultivating that mindset of abundance.
So it's not about just like burying your head in the sand.
No.
But it's also not about obsessing over every penny.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance
Okay.
between practicality and possibility.
I like that.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the example about finding a compatible partner,
Oh, yeah. Example 13.
where the message was you attract what you are, not necessarily what you want.
Yes, that's a really important point.
So if I'm feeling lonely and desperate for a relationship, I'm probably going to attract more of that energy.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that the most powerful way to attract a loving relationship
Okay.
is to cultivate self-love
Yeah.
and a sense of wholeness within yourself.
Okay.
So when you radiate that energy
Yeah.
of self-acceptance and joy,
Right.
you naturally become more magnetic to others.
So instead of focusing on finding someone to complete me,
Yeah.
it's about focusing on becoming the best version of myself.
Yes.
And trusting that the right people will be drawn to that energy.
Exactly. The book reminds us that true love begins with self-love.
Okay.
And when you're content and fulfilled within yourself, you're less likely to settle for relationships that don't align with your true desires.
That's so empowering. And it connects so beautifully to the idea of aligning with our source energy. When we're in that state of self-love and acceptance,
Yes.
we're naturally vibrating at a higher frequency, which attracts more of what we want into our lives.
And this principle applies not just to romantic relationships,
Right.
but to all of our relationships.
Right.
The book even touches on the challenge of dealing with difficult people,
Oh, yeah.
including those who might be deliberately trying to sabotage our happiness.
Okay, so how do we deal with those people?
Let's talk about one of those examples. Okay, so there's this example of a woman dealing with a really toxic ex-partner.
Okay.
So he's spreading lies about her,
Oh, wait.
trying to ruin her reputation.
That's awful.
It is a really tough situation.
Yeah.
And she's understandably feeling angry and hurt. But the book encourages her to shift her focus
Okay, to what?
to her own inner peace,
Okay.
rather than getting caught up in trying to control his actions.
So it's like that idea of focusing on what you can control
Exactly.
and letting go of what you can't.
Yes, because the more she tries to fight back or defend herself, the more she's actually feeding into that negativity.
Right, it's like adding fuel to the fire.
Exactly.
So how does she shift her energy then?
The book suggests things like journaling,
Yeah.
meditation, spending time in nature,
Yeah.
anything that helps her reconnect with her own sense of peace and well-being.
So it's about finding those things that bring her joy and help her feel grounded,
Exactly.
even amidst the chaos.
Yes, and the book emphasizes that this isn't about condoning his behavior.
Right.
It's about recognizing that her power lies in choosing how she responds.
So it's not about letting him off the hook.
No, not all.
It's about taking back her own power
Exactly.
by choosing to focus on her own well-being.
And you know, it's interesting because the book also talks about this fear that a lot of people have
What's that?
around like negative thinking
Okay.
and how it might impact their ability to manifest what they want.
You know, that's something I struggle with too.
Yeah, it's like that moment when you're feeling really good and then a negative thought pops into your head and you're like, oh no, I just jinxed it. Now something bad is going to happen.
It's like I'm visualizing myself tripping and falling.
Yeah.
And then I actually almost stumble.
The book addresses this directly.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get caught in that worry loop.
Yeah, and it assures us that our thoughts are most powerful when they're dominant patterns,
Okay.
fueled by strong emotions
Mhm.
and repeated consistently over time.
Okay. So those fleeting negative thoughts,
Yeah.
they don't have the same power
No, they don't.
to shake our reality.
It's not about policing every single thought that enters your mind.
Okay, good.
It's about becoming aware of those recurring patterns.
Right.
And consciously choosing to focus on thoughts that feel better and are in alignment with what you want to experience.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I can't always control those random negative thoughts that pop up.
No, it's about those deeper beliefs
Okay.
and habitual patterns.
Got it. And speaking of challenging beliefs, there's this really powerful example in the book
Okay.
about a woman whose husband is very ill,
Oh, wow.
and she's understandably feeling a lot of fear and helplessness.
Yeah, that's a really tough situation.
It is, and it's hard to stay positive when you're facing something so serious.
Absolutely. But the book reminds her that she can't control her husband's health journey.
Right.
What she can control is her own emotional state.
Okay.
So it encourages her to focus on finding moments of joy
Okay.
and connection with her husband, appreciating the time they have together,
Yeah.
and focusing on thoughts that bring her a sense of peace.
So it's not about denying the reality of the situation.
No.
It's about choosing to focus on what brings comfort and meaning,
Exactly.
even in the midst of difficulty.
And sometimes choosing to find a moment of joy amidst the storm
Hmm.
can create a ripple effect of positivity that extends beyond ourselves.
It's like creating a haven of peace and love,
Yes.
even if you can't control the external circumstances.
And speaking of finding peace in challenging circumstances, the book also talks about grief and loss.
Yes, those examples about the woman whose boyfriend left her
Yeah.
and the man whose dog passed away, those were really powerful.
That they were.
Because loss is such a universal experience.
It is.
And it can be so hard to navigate those emotions.
Absolutely. And the book acknowledges the pain of grief,
Yeah.
but it also reminds us that love and connection transcend the physical realm.
So even though the physical form is gone,
Yes.
the love and the connection still exists.
In its different form.
Yeah.
And the book encourages us to be open to new forms of love and connection.
Even as we grieve what we've lost.
Exactly. It's a beautiful reminder that love is a powerful force
Yeah.
that continues to flow even in the face of death.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive
It does.
into this really insightful book.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
It has, and what I'm taking away from this is it's not just about manifesting material possessions.
Right.
It's about cultivating a deeper understanding of ourselves, our emotions,
Yeah.
and our connection to that source energy within us.
It's about recognizing that we are powerful creators,
Yeah,
and our thoughts and emotions are the tools we use to shape our reality.
I love that. And by mastering those tools,
Yes.
we can navigate life's challenges with greater grace and resilience,
Absolutely.
and create a life that is truly aligned with our heart's desires.
That's the goal.
It is such a beautiful and empowering message.
It is.
I hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights
Me too.
and inspired you to explore the power within you.
Yes.
If every challenge is an opportunity for expansion, how might you view your current situation differently?
Yeah.
What shifts in perspective might allow you to tap into that downstream flow
I like that.
and experience more of what you truly desire?
That's something to ponder.
It is. It's something to ponder as we wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.